think you know Danny's World? Think again! There are things in this game that players have completely missed. From secret items hidden in plain sight, to weird dialogues that actually mean something. So today, we're breaking down everything you didn't know about Danny's World. And trust me, you're gonna be shocked by what you see next. Starting with Dandy, one of the weirdest features in the game that I actually didn't believe existed. Starts by joining Danny's World and then immediately going to roleplay. Once you arrive in roleplay, you might be awakening the demons of Stalking Sprout. However, if you were to go to a character, for example, like Dandy, and then go to free roam with Shift P, would you believe me if I told you that he had a brain? He actually has a brain inside of his head. What if I told you it's actually not a brain? Huh? It's something else that makes a bit more sense. This looks wrong. If you were to fly inside of Dandy's head, he actually has a tape for a brain. This is real. This is an official Danny's World. I cannot make this stuff up, people. And Dandy isn't the only one. Astro's got a heart or a star inside of him. Oh, no, that was just an animation. Never mind. Bassie's clear. I don't think anyone's surprised by this fact, but I mean, Bridney has a light bulb. But one of the important questions people ask is, does Finn have Barnaby? Maybe I need to take off the skin. Is there a Barnaby Willikers in here? No Barnaby. But there will be soon. Does Gigi got anything in that Clipto head of hers? But while we're on the topic of Gigi, did you know that her Twisted design would have looked completely different? So currently in Danny's World, if you get hunted down by Twisted Gigi, she chases you up with one hand coming out her head. However, the Twisted Gigi's design is overall the same, except from having two arms coming out of her head. If you guys take a look at this is what Twisted Connie was originally supposed to look like. And Gigi isn't the only Twisted that was supposed to look different. For example, this is the current version of Twisted Glisten, whereas originally, he was supposed to have a smile on his face, which is kind of creepy, bro. Actually, how does this one talk? How does Roger talk? This is what R&D looks like, and this is what his original concept looked like. It's about the same, except those faces would not fit together. Twisted Flutter was originally gonna have a lasso coming from her mouth. As you can see, that got scrapped. And before ultimately landing on this design, Quell poked around with a few other Twisted Dandy designs. For example, this one right here, where he kind of looks like he's coming out of a flower pot, which I think was the design that they were going for, because Dandy is a flower. And here's a different version of Twisted Dandy where he looks more like a marionette puppet. And before I bore you too much with just Twisted changes, here's the original concept that they had for Shelly. And hands down, the most heavily debated topic that I've seen in the Angel community for a long time is Twisted V's original design. Literally, so many people want this Twisted V design. It's kind of sick. But that's enough talk about just Twisted. Another thing when you first jump into Danny's World, when you go to Dandy and go to buy, well, never mind, I forget that it's Dial now. When you go to buy skins from Dial, currently you can pick whichever Toon skin you want with the red ticket. That's what they're called, red tickets. But what if I told you that's actually not how it always worked? Danny's World actually used to have gambling. This was for a very, very short time. However, it didn't stop me from gambling. Roll the clip.
Auto? I don't want auto. Wait, who do we want? Guys, hold on. Let's manifest this. Who do we want? I don't have Astro. That's pretty fire, though. You know what? I want the Finn skin. Please, yo, if I could, please. Yo, I actually want this Finn skin so bad. I'm gonna close my eyes. And we're gonna see what happens, okay? We're just gonna see what happens. All right, let me know what happens. I'm turning around. I can't see. I don't know. What'd I get? Did I get Finn? All right, I turned around. All right, I'm not looking. Okay, I got a new one. It's gonna be Finn. Watch. It was Finn. I know it was. Look, ready? Boom.
This was recorded over 14 months ago, by the way. Another secret that was in Danny's World that ultimately got removed had to do with this sign-up sheet over here. As you can currently see, it just has squiggly wigglies on it. But that's not what it originally was supposed to be. Or rather, in the literal game files, there's a different texture for the sheet that's found. And the unused texture only has a minor difference on it. So this is the sign-up sheet that's currently in game, but the unused sheet in Quell files, as you can see, has signatures from Quell, People like Wenda, Astro, Bobette, with a squiggle line for the date. Kind of a cool little feature that you probably didn't know existed. Ever since my Danny's World basement video, I get asked all the time, how do you get into the basement? So today we're gonna be investigating everywhere in Garden View to where the basement is. I wanted to clarify that there's a major misconception. Basement theory came because of this note left by Delilah, where Delilah's talking to someone saying that Christmas is gone and we don't need them interacting with the public during off season. That's a waste of resources. They'll be right and in working shape when the holiday comes back. Until then, they'll want to be alone, naturally isolating. Think of it as a good thing. And there's also this from Arthur, where Arthur says, Delilah, ever since Christmas passed, the holiday tunes have been often found hiding in corners around the place. Which then led to this post going popular on Reddit, saying that some people are saying that they locked up in a basement, and others are saying that they're just wandering around Garden View. But the whole basement theory is actually a complete headcanon. There is no basement, guys. There are actually so many more secrets to share, so let's speedrun them, shall we? On Shelly's event floor, you can actually reference this photo to determine actual Toon's height. And another fun fact, on every new main floor that was added into the game, there's actually a secret video. If you were to wander into this room on Sprout's floor, you could find an animation that would show on V's map. If you were to wander to this side of the map, you would find a video that shows. Did you hear the news from Delilah and Arthur? There are plans for V version 2.
Do I really need an upgrade? I'm almost as recognizable as Dandy. Kids love trivia games. The prizes. No other tunes deal with this. What will Jane? I'm more than my code. Oh, Veronica, are you even listening? You're always so silent. And
We can try and change their mind. I'll help you. Best I can.
Thanks.
If you pay attention to that video, that setting of that video is actually taken right here. Coincidentally, right where there's this camera. And that's not the only camera that's in Dandy's World. There's several of these cameras hidden around the map. And then on another one of Dandy's World's newer maps, there's this video. Dandy, are you still having issues with your breathing? Nope, you fixed that right last week. No issue since. You said you felt lonely last I took notes. Is that still true? You and Arthur are great and all, but it's a little lonely. Come on, Delilah. There ain't no Toon like me. Arthur! Dandy, we'd like you to meet Pebble, just like the show, your pet rock, remember? I do! Oh, Pebble! And soon, you'll have even more friends. It'll be a dream come true. Here, buddy, and Dandy, remember, your joy is my joy. Another pretty gnarly secret on Dial's floor is a secret room that opens up. Inside of this secret room, there's actually a transcript left over of a conversation that Dial had with Arthur and Delilah. With Arthur Walton basically just telling Dial that he's never gonna join the main cast. And one final thing that I wanted to reveal is if you take Gordy to his room when you're playing the Halloween event and get into this room, he actually has a special interaction where he says, I shouldn't stay here much longer. Whew! If I had more time to explain what everything means, you already know I would. If you want more lore videos like this in the future, make sure you guys smash like, and I'll see you guys all again soon.